Over the past several months in Red Dead Online, a mystery has been brewing right underneath our noses. Every single event week, it became more apparent that there was something missing from the newswire every week since, late May, early June? I too began to notice the lack of limited stock clothing rotating into Red Dead Online's event weeks, along with some of you in my limited stock clothing guide video. And several of you left comments inquiring about when this item or that item would end up returning to Red Dead Online. And I did some research, and I think that the last time we saw any clothing was back in late May, early June. It was around the time Rockstar was promoting some new horse races, and they had in the limited stock clothing for I think a 2-week period from May 18th to May 31st, 2021. The items included the Arab Heart coat, fanned stovepipe hat, McBay jacket, chainless corset, as well as the Danube outfit. Both of these, by the way, are female-only clothing items. Those were, as far as I can tell from looking back at previous event weeks from now all the way back to early June, the last time Rockstar rotated in limited stock clothing items, which begs the question, why hasn't Rockstar bothered putting limited stock clothing back into the event weeks of Red Dead Online? As far as I can tell, this has been happening, or better yet, not happening, for the past 2 going on 3 months now in the game. And this would definitely be something that would make the weekly events a lot more interesting, especially since you always have players coming into Red Dead Online that would like to get their hands on some of these limited stock clothing items, and quite a few have been asking about it via the Twitter account for Rockstar, their Facebook page, as well as my limited stock clothing guide video over the past 2-3 months now. And the answer to your question is I have no idea why Rockstar hasn't rotated those clothing items back in, especially since they're done dripping the Blood Money content, which included all the Blood Money contracts and opportunities, as well as the Call to Arms survival mode. All that they really have left now is Quick Draw Club number 4 coming up in early October, and in late October around Halloween they have Halloween Pass 2. That's pretty much it when it comes to quote-unquote new content that's going to be leaked out to Red Dead Online until there's the next update coming up sometime later on in the fall, either late November, early December, somewhere in that ballpark. But till then, why not start rotating the limited stock clothing items back into Red Dead Online? Because yes, a lot of us veteran players have already bought the limited stock clothing items that we like. However, like I mentioned already, there's plenty of players that have yet to purchase specific limited stock clothing items that they have been looking forward to seeing rotate back into the game. And here's a list of what we have when it comes to the limited stock clothing items. We have overall 2 outfits, 1 unique outfit for female characters, 1 for male. We also have 2 sets of gloves, 3 different types of boots, 1 pair of spurs, 1 pair of shoes, 3 different vests, including the Ortega vests, 1 double bandolier. By the way, each item, well, most of the items have different various colors as patterns for each of these clothing types. So it's way more items than just, say, 3 pairs of boots, because each pair of those boots have different colors or different patterns to them, for example. You also have the Halloween limited clothing items, which are the 6 masks that will most likely be rotated back into Red Dead Online sometime in October. I don't know if we really count that as part of the limited clothing items, but we'll go ahead and count the Halloween masks as well. There's also the pattern bandana. Now, there is pattern bandanas that are regular clothing items, but there's also like limited stock pattern bandanas that have unique various colors and patterns to them that only rotate in every now and then as well. There's also 3 different pants that are limited stock, including the concho pants, 2 chaps, 1 half chaps, along with the darn stockings, and of course the hitch skirt. Then you have the Preto poncho, you have 5 jackets, you have 5 coats, including the morningtail coat, the chainless corset, as well as 15 hats and caps total. the Gator hat, Mantica, Elangila, Gardenia, and a few other hats as well make up what is the limited stock clothing items. A lot of those clothing items obviously haven't been in the game since 2-3+ months now, some even longer if you go further back past late May, the last time we actually had limited stock clothing at the recording of this video. And as far as my research pertains, I think I'm right, but then again, I don't always claim to be right. The point is, this is something that has always puzzled me. First off, why do we have limited stock clothing items? Are they made from, as we often joke about, rare pixels that Rockstar has to mine in order to make enough chainless corsets, enough gator hats, enough Concho pants, Ortega vests in order to put into the shelves for a week or two? Is it the fact that we are making the limited stock clothing items courtesy of our camp and the trader role? Is that what Cripps is working on, and maybe he just hasn't had enough time, enough materials sent his way over the past few months to make more limited stock clothing items, and every sale we make ends up loading the warehouse with more limited stock clothing? Maybe it's a shortage. The truth is, I don't really see the point of limited stock clothing, especially since Rockstar over the past 2-3+ months now haven't even bothered rotating the limited stock clothing items back in the game. So my answer is twofold to this mystery. One, Rockstar, start rotating the limited stock clothing items back into the event weeks. They'll make them a little bit more interesting and enticing by doing so, especially since there's a lot of players out there that have been asking for this limited stock clothing item or that one in particular. Or, if you're not going to do that, just make the limited stock clothing items permanent clothings in the game. Add them to the clothing stores and catalogs permanently, because the joke is, we know that it's not rare pixels or being made by Cripps while he's telling us about the Tennessee bank heist 1,000 times. It's just Rockstar choosing to rotate these particular clothing items in and out. But Rockstar, if you're not even going to bother rotating in the limited stock clothing items anymore, and it seems like you're not after 2+3 months here, then just go ahead and add them to the stores. That way you have more content added to Reddit Online, more clothing items for players to go and purchase, whether with cash, gold, either or, depending on the specific limited stock clothing item that they happen to want. And that way it's a win-win. You can say, hey, we decided to make all former limited stock clothing items permanently added to the catalog and the clothing shops and regular general stores. That way, if you want the Concho pants or you want the gator hat or you want some of the other outfits that you can't get, then you can get them now and till the end of Red Dead Online. I think that would make a lot of players out there happy, especially those of you that have been asking me via the comments section of the Limited Stock Clothing Guide video, as well as during live streams. I've had this pop up numerous times in live chat. GB, when is this item coming back? When are limited time clothing items coming back? The same answer I give everybody is I personally don't know, but if they do happen to return, I will definitely cover it in a Tuesday Event Week Newswire video for Red Dead Online. So maybe it'll come back soon. Maybe we'll never see the limited stock clothing items again. If that's true, that would be an absolute shame, Rockstar. So my opinion on this subject is obvious. Either A, just return them back to rotation now as soon as possible to make the event weeks even better than they currently are, which are a lot to be desired, or stop with this rotation nonsense and make all those items permanent. Your thoughts, your views, your opinions regarding why Rockstar has stopped rotating limited stock clothing items into the event weeks of Red Dead Online for going on 2-3+ months now, and what would you like to see them do with the limited stock clothing items? Start them back up on rotation in the event weeks, or simply just make all that permanent? And which limited stock clothing items have you been wanting Rockstar to add back to the game? Your thoughts, your views, your opinions, as always, welcome below in the comments section.